All right, Dino has a saying, I don't want to bury the lead. The big story of the day, if you saw it, we tweeted it. Dino wrote a story that's at Coming Down the Pipe. If you didn't read it, go to thepipelineshow.com, click on the banner for Coming Down the Pipe, which is our blog. The Portland Winterhawks could be in some trouble. Remember, the Windsor Spitfires in the offseason got hammered for $400,000, later knocked down to $250,000, and lost a bunch of draft picks for recruiting violations. Well, Dino wrote the story and has spoken with a number of sources who suggest that Portland might be heading the same direction. We had a chance to speak with Dean just before the show tonight and started off with the situation with Windsor and what's he hearing happening right now with the Portland Winterhawks.
Well, I'm hearing that there's an investigation going on. Whether we'll find out if anything happens to Portland or not is another story. If you remember, Red 23, as I referenced it in the blog, Alessio Bertaggia, who's now in Brandon, has showed up at Portland's camp as an undrafted import. He wasn't allowed to be there. Apparently something happened to them, but nobody really knows what. The league has never really been transparent on that. Now, the league and the OHL wasn't exactly transparent either, saying that there was recruiting violations, but what they were, we don't know. It's funny, since that story has come out, I have had a few text messages from different guys in the league saying it's about time. That this is a team that some of the scouts that I've talked to feel have been maybe bending the rules a little bit or breaking the rules a little bit for a while. One guy said, here I am trying to scout and draft, and, they're buying their players is what the person told me. So whether it's paying a player under the table, whether it's offering something, another scout told me that, and I'm not going to name the player because I don't really want to taint this particular player. And if, as you pointed out, I never actually said this is about Seth Jones. I gave an example of a player named Seth Jones that was a big-name guy who they got through a trade. And just here's an example of why Seth Jones might have went to Portland anyway, and here's why maybe they were breaking the rules.
Yeah, because most people would probably jump to the conclusion that it's Seth Jones because he's the big high-profile guy.
Right.
But that's maybe not the case.
Right. There is another player on Portland, and like I said, I don't want to name the player, but I was told by a scout, and I've heard this similar story from different GMs as well. But this particular GM in this situation went and tried to sign a player who said, I want a contract like this other guy got from Portland. And I said, well, what was that? Well, they guaranteed him 4 years of school for playing one game, which you're not allowed to do in the Western Hockey League. As it was put to me today, what happened with kids earning their scholarship money, going year by year? In the OHL, that is, I think, a different story. But in the Western Hockey League, you're not allowed to do it. And this could be very well be that situation. The player in question is still playing in Portland. It's obviously something, I have yet to hear from the Western Hockey League, but I have heard from second party that has talked to the league that we are on to something. I've talked to several people in the league that says, something is going on. So what the details are, I don't know. I guess that sets up Richard Dirksen for this Saturday for our show, possibly, because hopefully the news might come out about, what Portland might have done. And let's hope that there is some transparency with the discipline, if there is any discipline with the Portland Winterhawks, as opposed to they did something wrong and they were punished.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree with you more about that.